when I go to a fancy restaurant, we've been to a fancy restaurant us three
Together.
before, and I'm just like, tell me what the meat is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the cut is. I don't like a venti. I don't know what that is. Just give
I'll
me
take a venti sirloin.
Just give me like 3 options on a menu that say steak dinner, burger, and then a side.
hot dog.
Yes. I can't do this.
When we were in L.A., me and AJ are like, ooh, have you tried the creme brulee? Ooh, have you tried the snail, the escargot? Sean's like, you guys want some of my ham sandwich? Well, hello there, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Confused Breakfast Podcast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
Yeah, dude.
The excitement of walking down the aisles, browsing the names and the artwork, and finally picking out a movie. Sure, it's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your couch, but there was something truly special about making that trip, picking a movie out by hand, watching it, and then telling someone, I have to return some videotapes.
Of course.
On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. I'm Pierce President Mike Schulte, and joining me as always, the Vice Presidents of Mergers and Acquisitions, Shaun Pryor and AJ Bennett. How the heck are you?
The only company where you can have 18 vice presidents?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a rule against it.
I don't even know.
You guys are Vice Presidents of Confused Breakfast.
Yeah.
What do you mean, you dumb bastard? What do you mean?
You dumb bastard.
You dumb bastard.
CEOs.
CEO.
CEOs right here. I
V-
never
V-
thought I would be that.
VP.
Yeah.
Well, boys, on this episode, we discuss a movie that had people all over the world talking about Huey Lewis in the news, the Fisher account, and business cards. Probably some sort of a boom in business card sales, I bet, after this movie
I would
came
hope
out.
so.
A movie nearly impossible to classify. Is it a drama, a thriller, a horror film, or a comedy?
Who cares?
A movie based on a highly popular book which helped launch the career of Christian Bale. A movie that has a sequel that no one saw or liked that tried to unlaunch Mila Kunis's career. We're, of course, talking about 2000's American Psycho.
It's Wednesday morning. It's early. Way too early for you. You're probably sitting in traffic, like me.
Bummer.
Why not have your coffee and bacon with the Confused Breakfast Boys? Good morning, boys.
Good morning, everybody. And if
dang
you
it.
are new to the podcast, we will be reviewing this movie with a modern eye. But in order to properly do that, we must discuss it with nostalgia so we can strip it away. AJ, let's start with you. Tell us the first time you saw this movie and what your nostalgic rating is.
That's all I freaking know from this movie, really. That's all. Just
What's he doing?
How did they get away with putting that in a TBS commercial? Just that part.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When did this movie ever play on television?
I know that it had.
I never saw it on television.
It was like Turner Classic Movies or something, or FX. Uncut and uncensored or something.
You're going to want to see this.
But they are going to cut out that scene except for just the cropped shot of him just flexing. Like that. Flexing and thrusting. I don't know, man. That's like what I remember, and I remember seeing bits and pieces of this. I will say I have seen this before. I can say it that.
Okay.
That being said, I don't remember a lot of it because a lot of it was too much for me as a kid, and I remember thinking I didn't understand, why doesn't he just take back his videotapes?
We never see him do that.
We never see him do it.
We don't know he even rents videotapes.
No, I didn't see him do that.
He doesn't have time to go to Blockbuster.
God, if that's the way he treats the laundry people, how's he going to treat their videotape
Quentin
people?
Tarantino. Man, maybe this movie.
Oh.
Maybe Patrick Bateman went to a movie store that Quentin Tarantino worked at and treated him so poorly that Quentin Tarantino developed just all of his mean streak in his movies to just, just be like, fuck those guys.
He's taking out all of his violence on yuppie scum.
Cool.
Love that.
All right, that's it for the podcast, everybody.
Sounds good. But I would say, honestly, I didn't get the movie. I didn't understand it. So I'm going to have to give this movie a nostalgic 3.5.
Dang.
Shaun, what about you, man?
Yeah, just like any of the other like auteur filmmakers, I was just kind of consuming whatever I could of those types of movies, and this was related to horror, and so I had to see it. And there's chainsaws in it. I got to see it. Yeah, I rented this from Hollywood Video and checked it out, and at the time I'd probably say, because I was so into movies and the blur of horror, drama, whatever the hell you want to classify this as, I was into it. So I'm going to say 9.2.
9.2 for Shaun. For me, picture me. I am, it's the year 2000. I have graduated high school. I've moved on to college. I'm living in the dorms. Boondock Saints is about to be my favorite movie in the world.
You don't even know yet.
I don't even know yet. I haven't even seen Boondock Saints yet. But Fight Club came out in 99. And Fight Club is the movie that I wanted to dive in and just be like, oh my God, did you know maybe he's not even real? And like, what's going on? And like, every time you watch it, you learn something new.
They don't even say his name.
Yeah. So then American Psycho comes out and people are talking about it the same way. And I'm like, nah. Oh yeah, I'll watch it. It's not that good. No big deal. Back to Fight Club for the 20th time.
Yeah.
So I watched this like once or twice and was like, that's dumb. I don't even care. Who cares?
Yeah.
So I am a Boondock Saints Fight Club fan, which means I am not an American Psycho fan, which is just a 5, just a very barely average 5 for me. Executive producer Josh Miller, who chose this one directly,
All right.
says, boy, American Psycho, do I really remember if I even like this movie? I certainly remember the movie. I have distinctive memories of the plot, funny, shocking, disturbing, and crazy scenes, even the scenes that left you questioning, is this real? But all that said, I can't say for certain if I like it, love it, or dislike it. I was in my early 20s when this came out, and I feel as a dude, this was a movie you were supposed to like. I probably haven't sat down and watched it in years. I know there was a sequel that was bad, like Lost Boys sequel bad. Sorry, Shaun.
It's fine.
In all seriousness, Lost Boys was at least a good to me at one point movie. I believe this is the first Bale movie that I remember seeing him in since Empire of the Sun, which I highly recommend if you haven't seen.
Absolutely.
But staying on track, I have to say that everything I remember about this movie, besides Bale's abs, I mean, he does 1,000 sit-ups a day in this.
It's crazy.
His love of Huey Lewis and the News, I agree, Sports is their best album. His ability to drop a chainsaw and trying to feed a cat to an ATM, and the meme with scene as he takes the axe to Paul Allen. It seems like it was right down my alley as a 23-year-old, so to be honest, I feel like my nostalgia score is going to be not as high as I feel it should be, like my nostalgia is carrying too much weight, so I'll give it a 7.9. That is a 6.4 for us nostalgically, which, you know, we don't put too much emphasis, but a 6.4, that's getting a little low. That is slightly below Point Break, slightly above Cocktail is how we nostalgically felt about this movie. Dang, right?
Cocktail. That'll come up later.
Well, we're going to strip away all that nostalgia. It starts with Shaun. He does all the pertinent, important detail research of this movie. Shaun, what do you got, man?
All right, guys. Produced by Christian Solomon, Chris Hanley, and Edward Pressman. Written by Mary Herron and Guinevere Turner. Based on the novel by Bret Easton Ellis. Cinematography by Andre Cicala. Also did the cinematography for Reservoir Dogs. Music by John Cale. Edited by Andrew Marcus. Directed by Mary Herron. Cast: Christian Bale, William Dafoe, Justin Theroux, Josh Lucas, Reese Witherspoon, Chloe Sevigny, Cara Seymour, Bill Sage, Guinevere Turner, and Jared Leto. Originally, the novel American Psycho was considered unfilmable until Johnny Depp was interested in the project, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Author Bret Easton Ellis had adapted his own screenplay, and director Stuart Gordon was attached at one point, but Ellis found the director unsuitable. Stuart Gordon also did like a lot of horror movies like Reanimator and stuff like that. David Cronenberg was then attached to direct along with Brad Pitt to star in the film, but Ellis was not happy with the direction Cronenberg was taking the project. He wanted to take out like nightclub scenes and like all the dinner scenes as well. And he like added a musical ending that like ended on like the World Trade Center or something like that. It was, I mean, that seems weird to me, but David Cronenberg, hey, that's pretty cool. Mary Herron would finally come on board along with writing partner Guinevere Turner. I'll get that right.
One day.
Producer Pressman was impressed with the gumption that Herron wanted to write her own script focusing on a more female perspective of the repressed male. The writing duo found influence in the Mario Bava film Hatchet for the Honeymoon, in which the main character was also killing people for self-discovery. Mario Bava was a great Italian filmmaker. for horror movies. Just go see
Just so
his
you know.
movies. Mary Herron was interested in Christian Bale playing the role, but Bale was a relatively unknown actor at the time, so the studio wanted Edward Norton or Leonardo DiCaprio for the role, even going so far as to announce that DiCaprio was cast in the role. Because of this, Mary Herron quit the project because she thought that Leo was too boyish for the role. She wouldn't do the movie if it wasn't Christian Bale, which is pretty cool. I love a director just taking a stance and be like, I'm not doing it. It's got to be this guy.
Yeah.
Oliver Stone was hired to direct, but there were major creative differences between star and director, so Herron was brought back on board, seeing actors like Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Vince Vaughn, and Edward Norton to fill the role. Ewan McGregor was close to the role, but Bale urged him to decline personally. Bale was finally cast with a salary of only $50,000. Herron knew Bale was right for the role when he described the character as an alien who landed in the unabashedly capitalist New York of the 1980s.
Okay.
He declined role after role after role while this was in just like development hell.
Crossing his fingers.
Yeah, he declined every role.
I
He's
need
like,
to be free when this phone call comes
This
in.
is and during that time he was preparing for the role the whole time. So any like actor that he like knew, like Ewan McGregor, he's like, dude, I have to do this role? Can like you just kind of back out for me, please? Pretty much, and I love that too. Filming began.
Psycho.
Yeah.
American.
Oh!
Filming began on February 28th, 1999, and lasted for 7 weeks. The film shot some in New York, but mostly in Toronto, Canada. On a budget of $7 million, the film was released in April of 2000 and earned $34.3 million at the box office and garnered a sequel that you should not watch.
0% on Rotten Tomatoes with 8 reviews. That means 8 critics actually watched it.
0%?
8 critics watched it, and all of them said, this is pure trash.
I remember seeing the cover in video stores and things like that, and I was just like, it creeped me out just because like the girl had like a sickle or a scythe, and
You're like, that's
but I've
Mila
never seen it.
Kunis.
I've never seen it.
But, okay, never mind. Does Mila Kunis? Never mind. I'm not going to go that far. So
we'll do that later. That'll be like our 10th season or something. We'll do American Psycho 2.
we finally ran out of movies.
Yeah.
We're just focusing on like an entire season of bad sequels at that point. Kindergarten Cop 2, American Psycho 2,
Lost Boys
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We're already on 3 for that.
Yeah.
Boondock Saints 2.
Never, dude.
Please.
Well, we know you have at least one friend who loves this movie just as much as you do. There's a little share. You're listening on your phone right now. There's a little share icon. You're on YouTube. There's a button that says share. It copies it to your clipboard. Just take it. Share it to a friend. Directly send it to them. That is one of the best ways you can support this podcast. You can also go to confusedbreakfast.com. Tons of merch there. We now have our new website. You can look at all of our ratings, decide what, who was wrong about what. Is Mike sucks at that? You can do that all at confusedbreakfast.com. And if you're caught up on all the episodes, you're looking for more, our YouTube channel has videos. Our Patreon has 80 hours of bonus audio episodes. You can vote on upcoming movies. We got a private Discord channel. It's a lot of fun back there. Check it out, patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. And up next, we have AJ, who did the research, tells us some of the ratings, reviews, critical, fan-related. What do you got, man?
I guess we got some things. But very fitting, we're going to go with the tomato meter.
Gross.
Give me that tomato meter. Just as 68%.
Yeah.
It's not a splat. It's not certified fresh. It's just this is what it is.
It might even
It's
be
a tomato.
worse.
That's middle of all the movies we've done. That is just like dead center of the pack at 68%. That is slightly worse than Wedding Singer, slightly better than Point Break, per the critics.
Better than Point Break?
Slightly better than Point Break.
Wow.
Okay, fine. Audiences enjoyed it more at 85%, but IMDb is coming in at a 7.6.
That's hot. That's a substantial rating, I think, on IMDb. That of all the movies we've done, that ties with Dazed and Confused and Lethal Weapon.
Wow.
That's how the audience feels about that.
7.6.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I guess people like IMDb had more traffic back in 2000. I don't know.
It did. That's when it had the message boards.
That's true. That's true.
Stephen Holden over at the New York Times gave it 100. He called it a lean and mean horror comedy classic. Rolling Stone, Peter Travers, 90. An uneven movie that nonetheless bristles with stinging wit and exerts a perverse fascination. And then Lisa Alspector at Reader, 80. The slick satire cleverly equates materialism, narcissism, misogyny, and classism with homicide. But you may laugh so loud at the protagonist that you won't be able to hear yourself laughing with him. There was there was also a 12. I wanted to just get a nice little low rating in there.
Wait, 12?
12 out of 10.
12 out of 10. Is that good? 12 out of 100.
Why not just say 10 or 15?
It's slightly better than that.
Well.
This guy is doing the same thing I'm doing with my
Exactly.
ratings. He's like, well, I already
0.5,
gave this
7,
11, so I got to give it 12.
You gave it 12%. I don't know. What do you guys want? The San Francisco Examiner, Wesley Morris, said most of American Psycho just sits there, looking at trouble, rather than looking for it, complacent, overjoyed, in fact, to exist at all.
He's a therapist as well.
I think so.
Cool story, nerd.
Cool story, nerd. Somebody felt that this movie title changed my life with an exclamation point. 10 out of 10.
I hope in a good way.
Patrick Bateman actually wrote on February 14th of 2022
Oh, no.
that this film has changed my perspective on life itself. It's truly a masterpiece. Patrick Bateman himself is one of the most relatable characters in cinema. He is literally me.
The literally me things. There's like a lot of videos of like
Is that what it is?
literally me. Like John Wick, literally me. Yeah. Like Tyler Durden is literally me.
It's literally me.
Wow.
That's exactly how I think and feel.
I'm not Tyler Durden. I'm the other guy that you don't know his name.
Yeah.
He's literally me. This is the last one I have for you guys. This is a 1 out of 10, and it's they just called it Incel movie.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
It's really trendy to use that word. I'm going to use it.
In 2022, it certainly is. This is literally an incel movie that glorifies violence against women. No wonder MGTOW type people love this movie, as this movie promotes inceldom and violence against women. My queens, stay strong together. I'm a gay man, but I am an ally of feminism, and I support your struggle. Go Queens.
All right.
That generally feels like someone who actually hasn't watched the movie.
Yeah.
Who just heard.
I think so.
A lot of times you get that where like someone told me that that's what happens in the movie, so I'm going to say that that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's directed by a woman.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think we'll get to it, but it's completely against this. It's satirizing this entire thing.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I suggest watching the movie,
Yes.
then going back and deciding if your review is correct.
Yes. That's an important part. There's too many people in the world who say, I stopped this 5 minutes into it. I just couldn't watch anymore. 2 out of 10 review. I just couldn't even stand
This
it.
movie is literally not watchable, but it is because it's a movie and you can watch it.
It's literally a movie.
You can put your eyes on it and watch it, so it's watchable.
It lasts like up to an hour and 48 minutes. It'll go.
In fact, the watchability is actually incredible because
You could turn up the volume. You could,
yeah.
there's so many things you
could
could
just turn down the volume and put on the subtitles. Then you're really watching.
Wow.
The subtitles are better.
Was that all you got, AJ?
That's like
Well, before we dive deep into American Psycho with a modern eye, it's time for a real quick shout out to our sponsor, Felix Gray. This podcast will always be free for you to watch on YouTube or listen to on your podcast platform. But keep in mind that with us spending about, I'd say 10 hours minimum a week per person, this podcast has developed into quite the undertaking for us. So in order to keep it free and high quality, we need sponsors. It has to happen. And then we need you to take those sponsors and go support them. So Felix Gray Glasses, they've been with us for nearly a full year now, if you can believe that or not. Not only are they great people and an awesome company, but they make an incredible product. They make blue light filtering glasses that filter out all the harmful blue light that hits our eyeballs constantly all day long. There are plenty of studies out there that talk about the negative effects of blue light on our bodies. So one option is to stop the consumption of blue light. That means get rid of all TVs, computers, cell phones.
okay.
Yeah, so okay, I'm
Great.
very good. Option 1 sounds good. Yeah, right. You're a psychopath if you think you can actually do option 1. So option number 2 is wear a pair of Felix Gray glasses to protect you from the blue light.
Yeah.
You got to have your consumption, so let's just use protection. It's like having sex, but like wearing a condom. Like, I have to keep having sex.
I have to.
I have to.
I have to keep seeing without going blind.
You got to.
These glasses are stylish, affordable, and they look like normal eyewear. People wouldn't even know you're wearing special filtering glasses, unlike all the $10 pairs you can pick up at a gas station. They even do sunglasses. They do contacts now. So put your money into something that not only supports this podcast, but also protects your health. Non-prescription and prescription available. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/confused. That's FELIXGRAY glasses.com/confused. Free shipping, free returns, free exchanges. Do it.
See the future.
Don't be a nerd. Look for the bird.
All right, listener. I'm going to need you to get out of the tub and dry off. Choose a robe, not the Bijan. And come and meet me, Shaun,
You
and
went
AJ.
with this, huh?
Come and meet me, Shaun, and AJ in the living room for drinks. Please. After that, I have a table at Dorsia where we can drink, do drugs, and talk about our love for music. On our way home, I'll probably kill you.
Yeah.
Here we go!
I always suspected that.
In 1987, Patrick Bateman, a young and wealthy New York City investment banker, goes out with his friends. The next morning, we see his apartment and morning routine before he heads to work. That evening, he goes out to eat with his fiancée and friends to a popular restaurant. Later, Bateman has an encounter with a woman on the streets. The next morning, he argues with the dry cleaner. Patrick and Courtney, who he's having an affair with, go out to eat. The following day at a business meeting, Bateman and his associates flaunt their business cards.
I forgot how brilliant the opening credits were.
Yeah.
While watching this, it looks like obviously blood dripping down.
To the music, too.
The music is so brilliant, and then seamlessly transitions into like that being like a vinaigrette or something on like some steak. Or
Is that blood? Oh, no.
It's
like on the
so
plate
cool.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so brilliant, and it like it encapsulates or like gets you right away into what this world is going to be of these yuppies who would go to these fancy restaurants in New York, and all the waiters are talking the exact same way. It's so good.
It's one of those things. This is. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. This is like what so many people, like, think about like Iowa, right? We're in Iowa, and then you've got all the people that we think of in New York, that are like
Yuppie
fancy and
scum.
yuppies, and like they're in their business suits and they go to fancy restaurants and stuff, and that's what it is. I love how it kind of like just pulls that veil away, and it's like, yeah, everything is exactly the same. We're making this sound really fancy and really cool and really neat, and it's just like. But then at the same time, it's like, what do you people even do? What do you people even do to justify being in this place?
Yeah.
And everyone's throwing down their like platinum card or whatever.
Blap, blap, blap.
Like that kind of stuff. That is the stuff that drives me nuts. And like, I always go into a situation thinking like, I don't want to look like some sort of imposter. I don't want to look like an imposter.
You have to be an imposter.
That is. Everyone is an imposter in that room.
If you inserted a normal Midwestern cool guy that likes craft beers and wears flannels and just and you just dropped him into that, they'd be looking at you like a frickin' alien, dude. They'd be like, "What are you talking about? You like your wife? You had a kid on purpose?"
It's like, oh man, yeah. It's been a lot of fun just, getting to hang out with my wife and just like as I'm drinking this like a craft beer.
Ooh, have you heard
Hanging out with my wife.
have you heard about their hazies aren't cool now anymore?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like, hazies aren't even that cool.
Yeah.
I want a West Coast, but I don't want to go to the West Coast. I just want a West Coast IPA here.
I want them to super dry hop the hops.
Yeah. My wife and I it's fun hanging out with my wife, and we just had a kid, and that's cool. It's like, is it? Are you sure your life's not destroyed?
So are you buying,
Like, no, it's not.
Are you buying the $500 bottle of wine or no?
Oh.
I don't even know.
It doesn't matter. I'm not actually buying it. I'm putting it on this platinum card.
Yes.
See?
Yes. Dude, everything,
Free money, bro.
Everything those waiters are saying are absolute fucking gibberish to me. I'm like, when I go to a fancy restaurant, we've been to a fancy restaurant us three
Together.
before, and I'm just like, tell me what the meat is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the cut is. I don't like a venti. I don't know what that is. Just give
I'll
me
take a venti sirloin.
Just give me like 3 options on a menu that say steak dinner, burger, and then a side.
hot dog.
Yes. I can't do this.
When we were in L.A., me and AJ are like, ooh, have you tried the creme brulee? Ooh, have you tried the snail, the escargot? Sean's like, you guys want some of my ham sandwich?
The bread is very crusty.
He got a duck. You got a burger, which
I had to.
If I see the word burger, I know what you're talking about.
The world's
at
most
least.
famous burger. I had to get.
Yeah.
I got the ham sandwich.
But it was a wonderful ham sandwich.
It was really good, but it was also called something besides ham sandwich.
And the fries. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you, whatever sprinkle dust they put on there.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was tink dust is what it was. Fairy dust.
Yes. We got to talk. Let's just break it down. Let's get it all out of the way. Let's talk about the soundtrack of this movie. It hits me right away. I forgot that when they walk in that club, you got New Order, True Faith playing.
Yeah, dude.
I want to go to a club that just plays like New Order, 80s new wave.
Yeah.
I think it's the new thing.
I want to as well.
I want to go there. I know, and you probably watched this in the 2000s. You're like, ugh, where's Nelly?
Yeah.
You know, but like now we're looking back going, New Order.
Where's Nelly? I still want 2001 Nelly. Okay, where's Country Grammar?
But the
song, dog.
Isn't it the single biggest cost of this film was purchasing the rights to these songs?
Yes, sir.
But it's so important because as you go through this whole movie, from New Order through the end, it is all perfect and needs to be. That music needs to be there.
Mm-hmm.
This is a perfect capsule of the late 80s in what people were listening to, and I love it. I love this soundtrack.
We'll get to it later too, but like Patrick Bateman's knowledge is just unreal with this kind of music, and I like those scenes. I love just because of the knowledge, you know. But yeah, you're totally right. It is this movie's background.
Yeah,
you know, it is what these yuppies will be referring to them probably throughout this entire show. Listen to during the time. And it juxtaposed from their mundane, them being how they are, and yuppies and getting the reservation to Dorsia, opposed to the club life that they lead. You know, it's 2 different sides to these people, and this will be the theme throughout the entire thing, I think. But we'll get to more of that.
It's like this idea that you just get to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
like at any time, whenever you want to do it, and. The music for me is such a big thing. They talked about a lot of music because it's from the book, like the book itself, and the book is way more like graphic, I guess. But they take a lot of things from the book, and I think even the musical references of how he's talking.
And supposedly in the book, like when he rambles on about something, it's like pages and pages and pages of talking about Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
Well, it's long in this movie, but in the book, it's just like endless knowledge of Huey Lewis.
Wow.
Does anybody read the book?
I have not.
I haven't either.
The watching this now again, though, makes me want to.
Me too.
I've read the subtitles.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's kind of part of the book, I guess, because Mary Herron and Genevieve Turner. Guinevere. Damn.
Just think of Death Cab for Cutie.
I can't. I don't know that.
Okay.
But they took like a lot of the conversations that these people have together, word for word, from the book.
Yep.
And it's a great adaptation, is what I hear. So
is this? We're going to talk about this through the movie. Is this our first sign that possibly we cannot trust him as a narrator when he's in the club and he says, "I'm gonna," like he talks back to the bartender and says, "I'm gonna kill you,"
Yeah.
and she doesn't hear him.
Mm-hmm.
So is this? I don't think there's a right answer. Is this her just not being able to hear him over the music, or is this him thinking he's saying that but he's not actually saying that? Because she has no reaction. If someone said that to me, there'd be a reaction.
Yeah.
She has nothing. She has no reaction to this.
It's a fascinating thing throughout the entire movie to think about, and like specifically this woman in this club. I hope she just didn't hear him, and I hope that she just she's not just used to that kind of talk to her.
Don't even go down that road. Come on.
It sucks, but
it might be.
It might be.
Yeah.
Because these are a bunch of fucking assholes in here,
Absolutely.
Including Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, these drink tickets don't work anymore. Like it's a cash bar only, like that kind of a thing.
She's had a long night, it looks like.
Yeah, and you're right. It plays to that of the. It's a dark satire.
Yeah.
Right? The whole movie is a dark satire.
Yeah,
And
I
like
think if
to
you-
remind yourself of that, I think is very important throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, I think that's the genre that it's in.
Yeah.
If you wanted to categorize it in any film genre, like film or horror, thriller, whatever, drama, I think it's just satire. Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's what I take away from it, and I always have to remind myself. I'm sure we're gonna keep talking about it as far as what's reality and what's not. I just think that my take for that moment is like it's in his head and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I like that it's just a fun moment though when Patrick Bateman gets put in his place.
Yeah.
When he normally does
Sure.
not in this movie.
When
And he
what part are you
hates
talking about?
When she's mean
The
to
bar
him.
scene.
Okay.
When he's
Oh
like,
yeah,
these
yeah,
drink
right.
tickets,
They don't work anymore.
They don't work anymore. Like it's a cash bar only. and like, it's every time he gets put in his place, that's when he wants to kill.
Mhm.
And I don't know. It's that's when he gets upset or
Yeah.
something. Or that's usually when it happens.
Because he has this hierarchy complex to him where he's like, it should be like Dorcia every
Right.
time wherever he goes.
Right.
And we'll see this happen at the laundromat too later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. The morning routine, and we get some exposition, or I guess his inner monologue from him. I love this scene so much.
Did anyone write the routine down by chance? I've
have some of
I've
it.
been thinking about, getting a little older.
I will tell you guys. I will tell you. It's okay. So
So what I like to do.
here's the thing. I like to apply a skin toner, an anti-aging skin toner, to my face. So I actually got this like kind of kit thing after watching this for this time around, right?
Ooh.
There we go. I would love
I already
his
have it.
skincare routine.
Do you want it? You can't have the whole routine.
No, I want his whole routine. That's the prop. No, and so I actually had tried it today of this like skincare routine, right? Of like, how do I look, guys?
Dude, glowing.
Looks like you haven't slept in a while.
Yeah, that's why I got the routine. And like I here's the thing is I thought it was a cool thing. I thought like there was this little part of me like as I'm watching this, I was like, maybe that's what people do, and it kind of helps them out throughout their day and kind of sets the pace and the tone and all this good stuff. And I was like, and I literally tried it today, and most of the time was just actually spent just reading. Just like,
Wait, how much?
wait, what's
How
the
often?
directions?
Right away when you get up or when you get out of the shower?
What's the directions on here? Hang on. Wait, which well, there's the charcoal skin.
Which one goes first?
There's a toner, but then there's also a scrub. Well, which one do I scrub first and then clean, or do I clean and then scrub? And then there's an anti-aging serum. A serum.
Do I drink that?
Like, it's got a ball on it. I can't drink that. It's just like, it's so. You're sitting here, and the amount of time it probably just took him to get used to this routine.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
insane.
He's like, in the shower, I use a water-activated gel cleanser, then a honey almond body scrub. Then I apply an herb mint facial mask. I get up at 2:45 in the morning to do all this before arriving to work at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Good God.
Like, that's got to take
Well,
forever.
and he's working out too. Like this fucker is so ripped. There are two people when I entered college and I gained my 50 pounds in college like everyone does the freshman year, that I was like, I gotta work out more. It was Brad Pitt in Fight Club and it was Christian Bale in this. Like just going, I could do that.
Yeah.
I just need to run around the block a couple times a
Yeah.
week. No, and he did this. He did the skincare routine. He
Yeah.
did the workout. I mean, he became this character.
He was this character, and like even before this, his Manchester thick accent was real thick. You see him in Empire of the Sun, and or just talk in real life. Honestly, it's very, very thick, and so it took him a while to shake that. And so on set, he had the American accent. He kind of lived this character. He excluded himself from socializing with any of the crew or anything. Like, he was this character.
Did you hear, though, that after at the rap party, he began to speak in his native English accent?
Right.
And the crew thought that he was preparing for another role where he needed to develop an English accent.
They didn't realize he's
They didn't
actually
even
like
know.
Welsh or
They didn't even
English
use
or whatever.
Welsh, yeah, right?
Yeah.
They had no clue. They're like, oh, weird, cool accent. He's like, no, that's how I talk.
Yeah.
There were a few times, though, where I felt I was like, that's a weird accent. You know, like he's gotten better at it as he's gone on over the years. Couple times I felt like he slipped up a little in this movie, just to where he sounded weird to me. But
I think it's like when he
not
gets
bad.
really intense.
Yeah.
You know, maybe. Like, maybe that's what it is.
Just had to kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's a prop.
before we move on, I'm going to pick an individual aspect of the skincare routine. I want the ice eye mask.
Wow.
Ice.
That seems like something I would like.
The
I
puffy.
think so,
The
too.
puffy eye
Sometimes
mask.
my face is a little puffy.
Yeah. I think I want that. I think I want to try doing that.
Well, you can just go get one.
No, I want that one.
I want Bateman's.
I want Bateman's because it'll make me that rich.
I want the one that he keeps next to the severed head. That's what I want.
It smells like rotting dead body and menthol.
Yeah.
You guys got any props that you thinking on
You
this movie?
fucking bet I do.
I have one.
You can't have the chainsaw.
I want the Walkman.
You can have the chainsaw.
I got the Walkman.
Okay. Well,
perfect.
I want the axe. I
Ooh,
want
that's
like
a nice
the
axe.
silver tipped axe. Fuck yeah, dude.
Pre-murder or post-murder?
Good question.
Jared Leto. You wanted,
Yeah, I
you
want
wanted
that-
to destroy something
I
beautiful.
want that blood on there. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put you guys on the spot for this one, but it's a bonus prop. Whose card do you want?
Okay.
Whose card are you taking?
Are we in? We're in on the cards. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to let you guys answer first
Okay.
because I've got a rebuttal to that.
Okay. You have a rebuttal for
I
it.
have a rebuttal to this.
I think I'm going. I like the gold that Carrie's the bow tie wearing
Yep.
redhead dude.
I don't know his name.
I like his raised gold lettering. That's pretty cool.
Whichever one guy said, I think it's. Let me see. I think it is Craig. Or no, it might be David. I think it's David Van Patten, and he's like, you see that? That's bone. The tone of the card or the color of the card. He's like, that's bone, and it's like, okay. I think I want David Van Patten's.
Okay. This is a
If we were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on board.
That's what I'm talking about.
Simultaneous.
this is going to be a hard way to come around here because I don't. They are. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that every one of those males is the punchable face.
Yes.
Because
I love it.
these guys are all the exact same person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why I can't differentiate between their business cards.
And they can't either.
And they can't either. They think they can. They don't remember anyone's name in this movie. We don't even know. We just sat here going, "Oh, the guy with the what's his name?"
What's the thing?
Like
Yeah.
we don't even know their names in this movie on purpose because they are all the same person. They are all slicked back hair piece of shits from I Think You Should Leave. Like, you think this is slicked back?
Yeah.
You know, like they are the piece of shits that
Yes.
they're referring to in that scene, and they are all the same. They are all the punchable face.
I agree.
And
with
I don't
you.
give a fuck about their business cards.
Pierce and Pierce can burn. I want to punch every single one of them and just give them a reality check of like I want to give them a Busch Light and be like, drink this.
Yeah. And then I want to see them try to order something else in like one of our like my small town Swisher
Yes.
bar. That's what I want. I want to try
Go to
to
a place like the Black Squirrel
Yeah.
and order some fried ass food.
Yeah. I want to see them try, you know? And the other end of it too is that even the ones who do know each other, like his little group of friends, you know that every single time one of them is not at that table, they're all talking
Yes.
shit about each other.
They're all
You know for a fact. It's not a question. It's just like, oh, yeah, Paul's not here or David's not here. Yeah, he's off doing something with his other thing.
He's off blowing some
Yeah.
dude.
He's probably, I guess he's been getting a little bit of a razz from because he can't hold down his own accounts. It's like, yeah, that's the kind of shit that I think of too.
Yeah, they are like even when you differentiate with their group, like Josh Lucas and Justin Theroux, they're all in there, don't know their names.
No.
But they're not even differentiated from each other in this movie. Like
Yeah.
they're just all putting on an act, and which is
Trying to
apt-
fit in, like he
which
says
is,
in the limo.
yes, which is apt in this scene where he's taking off his mask. Is like that I'm simply not there. Neither of anybody
No.
else in this movie.
It's all a facade.
We'll keep building this kind of narrative as we go, but this is what the movie's about.
So I didn't do any research in this. I like to watch it once, then do my research, then watch it again. So I'm looking at these business cards going, they spelled acquisitions wrong.
Yes.
Like I'm an English major. I know you don't notice it in my texts and my emails because I just want to get them done as fast as I can. But I've got a pretty good knack for spell. I won a spelling bee in 8th grade, no big deal. And I'm sitting here
still
going,
has his reward. I'm surprised it's not here, actually.
No, I'm going, these business cards are misspelled. Maybe this is a ploy to finally make it to someone's business card that is spelled right. And then we're like, oh, that's the real guy. These other guys are. But never once. They show, 5 business cards? They're all spelled wrong. I've then read up on it. Some people say that this was a choice, like that they did this on purpose. I think somebody fucked up.
Yeah, you think?
I think someone didn't proofread, and that just ended up being on the cards.
You think so?
That's because that's hard. You don't think acquisitions is ACQ.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all AQ on all their business cards. I'm gonna go on a limb and say somebody fucked up.
Maybe.
Because what's the point? What's the point?
There's really no. I mean, I'm sure someone could make something up, and I would be down with it. But
I think the only point is that it's just another nod to the superficialness of just they're all a VP. They all are taking stock in their cards, and nobody actually knows anything about how to actually spell acquisitions. That they don't care.
No.
You know. And nobody proofread it. But that's the only thing, and that's why I think you're probably right, because at least they'd have like a secretary that they sent it out.
Sure.
And it would
They're not taking this to the printers.
Yeah, they aren't the ones
Someone's doing it
They
for
aren't
them.
even doing any work through this entire movie. Like, literally, when Patrick Bateman, the first time we see him arrive to his office and he's talking to Chloe, I don't forget her character name, but Chloe Sevigny, he is telling her to do all this shit, telling her to dress differently. Jean. She's telling her to dress differently and everything like that. And then once the door closes, Jeopardy.
Feet up on the desk.
What the fuck, dude? I hate it.
I just got this mental image of every single one of those like VPs in their office on like Avery or Avery.com or cardstock.com.
Vistaprint.
Like Vistaprint. I'd just be like, do I want bone?
Ooh, but that's an extra
Or
glossy or
Morrow.
matte. What do I want?
Bone or marrow? Do I want Galaxy Black or Void? Galaxy Black or Void?
Like picking the napkin color at your wedding.
I don't know why I just jumped in. It's like that's what they're doing at their big fancy desk. Is fucking cards.
I do also want to talk about when they go to dinner and Patrick gives his like almost politician-like speak, which is pretty apt because all politicians are fucking psychopaths.
Whoa.
Patrick,
Bam.
like he's literally. You think that this is like maybe a character moment for him, but I kind of reject that, and I think he's just regurgitating like a speech he saw off of TV that literally Ronald Reagan made. Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
Regal Ronald.
The actor?
Yes, Ronald Reagan made. I think he's just regurgitating that, and he's literally telling his quote unquote friends this in order to try and like keep this facade that he has going, you know. And he's like putting himself out there to try and differentiate a certain conversation. Can we not talk about work? Maybe politics will work. He's just putting it out there.
Yeah.
And he's kind of testing the waters a little bit. But he also there's almost like inaugural horns on the soundtrack in the background too. You know, it's very, very satirical. And I just think that it's furthering his narcissism where he's just kind of testing things out with quote unquote people that he's around.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
It's very frustrating. I hate it.
Well, and even before that, they're walking in. He's wearing his. This is. I heard. I couldn't find it. I heard something that they think that psychologically, like a teenage boy is one step away from like being a serial killer, like in their internal makeup of how their brain is developing.
Sure.
Oh.
And he acts like a teenage boy in this movie. Like he's got his headphones on. He's like, "Shut up, Ma! Like shut up! I'm trying to listen to my song."
Yeah.
And then when he's like, "I was almost in tears because we were gonna get there late, not get a good table, but then we did, and it was awesome."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he is such a teenage boy, like serial killer mentality. And kids act that way. They have like these wild mood swings, and it was like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever said, I don't know if that's correct in what I'm saying there. Have I heard that? Maybe I didn't hear that.
We
but
need a resident psychologist for
we
this.
do.
Yeah, it's like
refer to.
it's like a mental stunted growth, of him, and he is the kid in the back of the van with his headphones on, looking out the window with angst. It's literally what he's doing.
Well, these are stunted human beings. Every person in this movie is just stunted, and they all have this facade. They are not themselves whatsoever, even in talking to each other.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating.
yeah.
Well, there is one other continuity issue I have. I've seen Inside Lydia's Ass before, the porn. I've watched that. And the continuity's wrong in the background every time. Like, it'll show them, like, the one girl would be on top, but then it would switch, and then she's on in bottom. And
that's not that part.
The continuity was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't as if he was watching Inside Lydia's Ass straight through. So I had continuity issues with that.
It's like the time that, like in Back to the Future. Like, is it actually 8 minutes or whatever the hell it is? This movie doesn't.
They didn't think about it.
It's just one editing flaw.
I'm here for the story. Okay, I'm here for the story.
And you just cut out a lot of it.
And
I need to see inside Lydia's ass.
Oh, well, great segue. Before we move on to scene 2, I've got to share a funny story. I have a great friend. His name is Tommy
Lydia?
Mokus.
Oh.
Tommy Mokus. He grew up in Iowa. He grew up here, but he's lived in Brooklyn for 20-something years now. He texted me the other day and said he was throwing a party, and he said he had a bunch of friends over, and he had some Cedar Ridge. He had the Slipknot Cedar Ridge, and he's like, this is my home state. I want you to try some of this whiskey.
Fuck yeah.
And his friend Tyler is like, Cedar Ridge, one of my favorite podcasts in the world is sponsored by them. And Tommy's like,
dare.
come on. He's like, who? He's like, Confused Breakfast. Have you ever heard of him? He's like, dude, Mike's one of my best friends. And so they had a laugh about it. So I think we are doing our job. We are spreading the gospel of Cedar Ridge, and it is going all over the country, whether it's Cedar Ridge's quintessential single malt, their blended rye bourbon collaboration with Slipknot, which is what they were drinking, or the flagship bourbon. Cedar Ridge Distillery makes the best whiskey in the world. You can most likely get it at your local distributor in Iowa or the Midwest, but if you can't get it where you are, like my bud Tommy, you can go online and order it straight to your door. Please support this amazing company who directly supports this podcast. You won't be disappointed. CedarRidgeWhiskey.com. Drink responsibly. Tyler and Tommy, love you guys. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Hope we can come out and drink some Cedar Ridge whiskey with you in New York sometime.
Is that the Nighthawk person?
Yeah, no, not they, but mutual friends.
Yeah.
We're
going on the Nighthawk.
So send us all your stories and reviews of Cedar Ridge. We will gladly read it on air. CedarRidgeWhiskey.com.
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 So scene 2, enraged by the superiority of his colleague Paul Allen's card, Bateman kills a homeless man in an alley. At a Christmas party, Paul Allen mistakes Bateman for another coworker. Bateman goes along with and meets Allen for dinner, manipulates him into getting drunk, and kills him. Bateman goes into Allen's apartment and creates an alibi. After private investigator Donald Kimball interviews Bateman regarding Allen's disappearance, Bateman takes 2 prostitutes to his apartment where they have sex before he tortures them and sends them on their way. This is still so jarring to me, this first kill. This homeless man kill. You can just see he's just all bent out of shape from this business card thing and this Paul Allen thing. And then he just goes after that homeless man. And then, like, come, dude, I don't care if you kill someone. It's not right, but go ahead and kill someone. Do not kill an animal, especially a dog, dude. Like, I'm enraged at this point.
Yeah,
I hate him.
It's the third time I was watching this before I got here, and I was watching it with my girlfriend. And we watched it the first time together as well. And once the scene came up, I'm like, yeah, I don't need this. He kills the guy. And the
it's
dog.
fine. Yeah. You don't need to know this.
It's super upsetting.
The crunch of it.
The stomp. It's just, apparently it's even worse than the book. And
get the fuck out of here.
I know.
I'm not reading it anymore.
And I'm not going to go into detail about it. Okay, I'll go into detail.
Cool.
No. But yeah, this is the point. I think the only reason that you do this in a book, in a movie, TV show, in any sort of thing like that, is just to make them just zero redemption.
Yeah.
Just to absolutely crush any sort of redemption that could possibly come of this character. From this point on, and they do it early, and it's like, no, now there's no redemption. So there's going to be a long span of you just hating this guy.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, even this might not even be his first kill, because before this, he's like
sees
walking,
that woman on the street.
and it's super creepy.
Do we assume the immediate cut to a dry cleaner and bloody sheets that is her?
I
that
think
he killed her?
that's cinema talking to you and being like, yes, I think he did kill her.
What do you call it? Wine? Does he call it wine? Is that what he said?
Cranberry.
Cranberry juice.
Cranberry apple.
Well,
Yeah,
it's like-
whatever. It doesn't matter.
I also want to talk about the editing of this movie, which I think is completely underrated, where it's these scenes, especially like in the nightclub too, where he does do these, like it seems like they're not real comments to people, and he's also like, I will fucking kill you. And then it cuts right away to like a more of a wide with the laundromat girl in it. And it's also like, was that a mistake? Did they mean to put that in the movie? It really is brilliant the way that they add these things into the movie. It's just so well done. It calls into question the entire time, is this real? Especially once we get to the end, is like, oh well, all those cuts made sense now.
Yeah.
But do they now?
Right.
It's very, very cool.
It makes you question constantly. Like it makes me wonder every single time of watching through this. I still don't know what's right, what's not, like, or what is and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It constantly happens to me, and I don't know if I like that. I'll be honest with you guys.
One more thing on the card scene too. Apparently, Christian Bale, his name was like Robo Actor on set, or that's what Mary Harron called him or something, because during the card exchange scene, he has complete control over his sweat glands. And just could sweat on cue.
I don't like that.
That's fucking nuts.
There's method, and then there's
madness.
Yeah.
There's method in method.
Sorry.
Hey!
All right. Well,
no big deal.
Look, I just want to say no. Yeah, I don't understand that at all, because and I think I know the other thing that people thought about him on set and whatnot was how much people thought he was just a bad actor.
Yeah.
Wow.
People just thought he was a bad actor. Like his co-stars, like the other cast and stuff, as they're interacting with him, and he's saying he's thinking, cool, that was a good take, that was great, and all the other people are like, are we sure?
Yeah.
And the director's like, yep, we got it.
No, we're sure.
And it's like, as he's like sitting there like taking in this card, and like they're going through the exchange, and then other parts of him acting childish, and it's all part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody on set is thinking, oh, did we get the right guy for this?
Yeah.
For this role?
You did.
You got him for $50,000?
This is the guy you fought
Okay.
for?
Yeah. And he fought for this?
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay.
He took a lot of inspiration from Nicolas Cage's role in Vampire's Kiss, which is if you've seen like any like Nicolas Cage freakouts on like YouTube, that's majority of them is just acting like a vampire, and he's like the most Nick Cage that you've ever seen Nick Cage in Vampire's Kiss, and so Christian Bale took inspiration from that role for this, and I'm like, that makes me very happy.
Did you hear what the final piece was? He took that motivation, but he's like, I still need something for this role. He was watching Late Show with David Letterman in 93, and he saw Tom Cruise as a guest, and he said that he saw this very intense friendliness with nothing behind the eyes, is how he described Tom Cruise, which is spot fucking on.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is not a human. And so Bale subsequently based the character on that. And interestingly enough, Tom Cruise is featured in the novel.
Yes.
He lives in the same apartment complex as Bateman, who meets him in an elevator and gets the name of cocktail wrong.
See, I told you we were going
calls
to talk
it
about it again.
bartender. It's so good. I love that.
It's so cool.
I love that he got, and this is like pre us thinking Tom Cruise is weird, right?
Yeah.
93 is like, oh, Tom Cruise.
Wow.
You know? We haven't seen the Katie Holmes freak out yet. You
No.
know, like we haven't seen that.
We haven't seen him
But Bateman
jump
picked
on
up on
Oprah's
it
couch.
right away.
Yeah.
He knew. He goes, yep, that's my guy.
Also,
Wow.
one more thing about the homeless guy, and we can go away from the kill dog scene.
Thank you.
Homeless guy is in Airheads. I forget what his actor's name is, but he's like the Jamaican guy that works at the radio station in Airheads. Yeah.
All right, now I got to go back and look that up.
Yeah,
we have
I
to
have to
do
watch.
Airheads, by the way.
Oh, 100.
We got to follow up a movie like this with Airheads.
Yeah.
It's really what we need
We
to
needed
do.
a chaser for sure.
So we're into the Jared Leto kill scene here. I wonder, like, I'm thinking about this. You were talking about this with the political speech and the way he goes into this Huey Lewis and the News thing. It's very hard to determine, is he just so much of a psycho that when he focuses on something, he just like focuses so deep and he really loves this and he knows everything there is to know about Huey Lewis? Or did he just obsessively study like a Rolling Stone magazine article review about this album because this is popular music and so he needs to fit in, so he needs to be the smartest person about this? So does he actually give a fuck, or is he just reciting, regurgitating stuff he's heard to the 10th degree to sound like he cares?
I think that's it.
You think so?
Yeah.
It sounds too well read. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds, the way he says it, it sounds like an article that was written, that he's read, and he just it's like a
memorized.
photographic memory of that what he took, or the liner notes or something like that of like a CD that he bought, you know?
Yeah.
Because he talks about CDs and like all that stuff, but I think I think it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I think in a
Yeah.
world of not getting through to anybody about like any of your passions or anything, and I don't think he's very passionate about anything like we were talking about, but if he could break through this yuppie mentality that everybody has, he could be a good music reviewer.
He could start a podcast.
Yes.
he could work for Rolling Stone.
Exactly. I think like if he was actually that passionate about it, even if he's not, honestly, you could be a psychopath and talk good like he is. I think he might have a knack at this, to be honest. And
At podcasting?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it wasn't around at the time.
Yeah.
Or just broadcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be on Howard Stern.
I was gonna say.
He's right in New York.
Yeah. He could be a co-host of Howard Stern, and then it goes on to him having his own show, and every show ends with him killing his guest.
Yeah.
Cool.
So fun.
Who would not tune in, guys?
I would. I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane? Best line. I love that line so much.
Yeah?
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane? Like, just like casually talking to Paul Allen while he's drunk.
But they're not listening to each other.
Exactly.
They're
No.
saying
Not
something
listening.
and then not hearing what the other person said. Did you recognize the waiter at Texarkana? They're in the Mexican restaurant. Paul Allen's mad because no one's there. First of all, when I go to a restaurant, I'm happy when no one's there because then I get great service.
That means the food is very bad.
So the waiter's standing there with the sign Texarkana. Did you recognize him?
I did not.
Oh my God.
I don't think
I'm
I
looking
did.
at his face in my head right now, and I'm like, yeah. Now that you say it, I don't know
his
though.
his real life name is Glenn Mark Salat, and he also starred in a movie with our boy, Willem Dafoe, that we've reviewed on this movie.
So
Shared an intimate scene with Willem Dafoe.
Boondock
in
Saints.
Boondock Saints. The
No
cuddle.
shit.
He is the cuddle man in Boondock Saints.
Wow.
Just thought you guys should know that.
That's great.
That's gonna be a TikTok that no one will watch because we're shadow banned.
because we suck.
And then when they hear our reactions, they'll be like, they rehearsed that. This whole scene with Huey Lewis and him being moonwalking and everything is just the epitome of this movie.
Yeah.
This is probably the best scene in this movie. Also, Jared Leto wasn't let in on rehearsals for this scene and wasn't informed of like any of the blocking that they were going to do during this scene. And so once he says, "Hey, Paul," and when they cut to his reaction is for real. He didn't know there was going to be an axe. He didn't know Christian Bale was going to do all this. He was just there kind of acting drunk.
No
Super
kidding.
cool.
Dude.
I think it's cool.
I think it is very cool, actually, because you think about that, and I think it makes me wonder, what? You guys laughing at me now? Come on. I think it's cool because did he know about like the newspaper on the ground?
Oh well, yeah, he said something about it.
He says something about that.
Yeah.
He's like, why do you have copies of the
You got a tiny dog? Or?
Yeah, you got a dog, like a puppy or something, your husband? Nope, I don't. The moonwalk, though, apparently that was just like the cream of it of him taking this role.
Yeah.
Because nobody pictured that he'd be so excited or like happily dancing around when he does that. It's my favorite thing.
Woo!
in that raincoat thing that he's got on.
Which was probably custom
phenomenal.
ordered from Dolce & Gabbana or
I
something like
hope
that.
so.
Is that a
it looks real
raincoat?
nice.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
all while spouting off sports
Factoids. Yeah.
that he's rehearsed. It's incredible. And then you move on to more even like we've seen this now. He's killed the dog, homeless man. He's done this. Now we're just going, oh shit, he's got these 2 prostitutes. This is going to be bad. But then this is a moment where it doesn't end up great for everybody, but they get let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could argue, and I guess we can maybe bring it up now. It's up to you guys if you want to wait till later. But what of these are real? Like, what of these murders are real, if any? Do you want to wait for that?
I say we wait till the end to talk about some of that, because there's so much to. I mean, like, I feel like this prostitute scene is real.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like this is very real because
I think that he actually did like beat them.
Yeah,
yeah, because they leave bruised and battered.
And now he's spouting off. And I thought, like, when I first watched this, he starts talking about Phil Collins. Which, by the way, No Jacket Required, one of my favorite albums ever. That's how I learned how to play the drums, you guys. Thanks
it
to
just
Schulte.
says a lot about you, man.
I love that album. You were singing Studio in the opening thing.
I'm warming up to him. Ever since Hook, I'm warming up.
Ever since.
I think I like him better as an actor than I do as a musician.
No, I'm going to send you one video of him where he does In the Air Tonight in front of like 80,000 people, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to send it to you.
But everyone in the audience goes,
No, air drumming was not a thing until about 2006.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
remember?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Right before Guitar Hero.
No, but I'm assuming now he's doing the music thing again. He's spouting off shit he heard in Rolling Stone about Phil Collins, that these girls are dead.
Yeah.
And they're not. This is just him just being a fucking you can't predict what this psychopath's going to be doing. Yeah. Because in fact, the first sexcapade is like normal.
Yeah.
I mean, other than him flexing and looking at himself in the mirror. But then they wake up and it flips. Now he's like, now I'm mad and I'm going to torture you guys.
Well, I think whenever we see him alone, he's usually consuming some sort of media, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Inside Lydia's
Ass. Yep.
What would you rate that, by the way?
Out of 100?
You recommend it?
Nah, the story's not very good.
No?
Are you asking for? What's your nostalgic review?
10? 10 out of 10? Nostalgically?
Doesn't hold up, just like Russell. It's like
retains his title.
Hey.
Wow.
Adesanya goes down.
Yeah.
But it's a good juxtaposition of like the theme of this movie to me, which we can get to later. There's so much, but him watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre like in the background while he's working out, or watching Inside Lydia's Asshole while he's like trying to make reservations to Dorsia, is his true self.
Is it he can't be alone kind of a thing?
Well, it's like you go to work and like say you're a single dude, or a single woman. You go to work and you come home alone. Like say you have a just you in your apartment. What do? You watch your show. Like you're yourself. You probably take off all your fucking clothes like I did. Just go free ball it. Like
not anymore.
Like truly, you're like, you know what I mean though. You're yourself. And no one's around to see you do these things. And like if you keep it that way, no matter how perverse or anything that like watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre might be, or any porn, if you keep it not killing people and hurting people, then that's just fine, Yep.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, let's move on to scene 3. So Bateman's colleague, Lewis Carruthers, reveals a new business card.
Right.
So Bateman tries to strangle him in the restroom. Kimball conducts a second interview with Bateman, calling the entire investigation into question. After murdering a model, Bateman invites his secretary, Jean, to dinner. Bateman plans to kill her with a nail gun, but doesn't.
Well, did you guys know that Defoe famously in these interrogation scenes did them 3 ways?
I heard about this.
They told him to do it that way, right? That was a direction?
Yeah, it was a direction. They shot his lines. I gotta assume that it's all of them in 3 ways. They shot one where he knew it was Bateman who was committing these murders.
The first one, he knew Bateman was committing the murders, yep.
Second was he suspected Bateman was committing the murders.
But wasn't sure. And then third, it was he doesn't know who committed the murders at all and was just clearly just asking Bateman. So each, like the first one was when he was in his office.
Yeah.
And the second one was
the lunch that they had.
The lunch, and then the third one was I think he was in his office twice.
Yeah.
That's amazing because that doesn't make sense. So that calls into question, is this even happening?
Right.
Like to where
like
Bateman,
is Kimball real?
is
or
Kimball
something?
even real, or is
Okay.
Kimball just I don't know, because why would they be like? Why would that be a thing?
I think it's brilliant because it adds to, for filmmaking wise, it adds to the character's unsure of even himself, you know?
That's how he's
Because
interpreting
like
it.
he'll say something and like pretend to be on the phone and shit like an asshole, and he'll say something and then Defoe's character will have Kimball will have a reaction, and then it kind of hinders his next line pretty much, but it also hinders the way he reacts to that line. And as an audience member, you're left unhinged, and you're also left with the air of this unreliable narrator, because Bateman is the character that we're watching the entire time. He's unsure of what Kimball has to offer, and we are also unsure of what he has to offer.
It's like it
And
keeps...
one
Go
more thing.
ahead, yeah.
Because of the editing of like him saying shitty things to random people, like the laundromat people, because of that, we are also wondering what Bateman is thinking as well.
Yeah.
We are never sure.
We don't even know.
With that, it makes me think now, actually, that especially if it was, if it's, I know you did it, I think you did it, I don't know. Who
I have
did
no
it.
clue.
Yeah.
It's
Can you help me?
It's the progression of the guilt complex or something.
Yeah.
That Bateman is like, I just recently did this, and I'm not going to get away with it.
Right.
Right.
I might get away with it.
And then you think it, and then it's like, well, maybe I am going to get away with it. Maybe I can get away with this if I put on this facade again. And then
That's
but
true,
the final
man.
meeting with him,
He's already
he's
already forgot about it.
and he's already
Like,
forgotten about it. He's already moved on, and he's like, I've
Yeah,
gotten
I
away
didn't
with
do
it
it.
for this long.
Yeah.
You know, again, I think it goes back to like being like a little kid or something
Yeah.
like that. And you think about like, no, I feel bad, but then it's like, well, if I get away with it, then I got away with it or something like that. And at that point, Bateman thinks he's getting away with it until obviously later on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's the question of does he say I'm in murders and executions to the model? Like does
Right.
he actually say that? To where she just has heard so many people say mergers and acquisitions that her brain filled it in, or
Just
did
the
he just
sound.
not say that and he wanted to say it and he actually said mergers and acquisitions? I love how they added this in here, though. I don't know why this adds to the like everyone sucks in this movie. Like other than what, maybe Jean, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Jean's sweet and doesn't. Jean's the type that just moved here from Iowa
Yes,
or something
exactly.
like that. But
Yes.
but even this model, I love. This is the stupid, clearly a stupid person who's like, I'm not stupid. You think I'm stupid, but I'm not stupid. But I am stupid because I think there's something sweet about you. She's like the model. She's like well, you're a Capricorn, so I know that you're a good
Yeah.
person.
Where do you summer?
You're a good person.
Ooh, you're a good person.
That's
Ooh,
also
your
Guinevere.
moon's rising right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also Guinevere Turner, the co-writer. of the
Oh,
film.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
No, yeah, your Mercury Cougar is in Retromance. so
This scene. So this is the scene with chainsaw. And
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Well, no, this is Jean. So this is where he tried to murder Jean at this point.
With the nail gun.
oh, the nail
Yes,
gun.
we haven't got to the chainsaw yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
By the way, one hell of a nail gun. Doesn't have a cable or anything.
No, I know. That thing's gotta be
that's all-
powerful.
All gas powered. It's like electric.
Power.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell it is.
Battery.
Yeah, it's bad.
I don't
Solar.
know. I don't know like what brand he would be using, like with axes. It isn't Milwaukee. It's because those would be like reddish.
Might have been
tan.
like a Makita.
Yeah.
You know.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
I don't.
Tools.
You want to see my new tools?
Are you gonna build something with those or?
Yeah, probably.
So why do you think he lets Jean go here, though? Is it because she is maybe the actually only decent kind of human in this, like at least remotely decent human, or was it the phone call from his fiance, like bringing him out of the moment?
It's like somehow he. Oh, this might be too deep, guys. It's like somehow he recognizes that there's actually more than surface bullshit to her, or something.
Okay,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? She's paying attention. She's actually watching, whereas everybody else in this movie is not. You know, everyone else, like you already said it. It's like
Yeah.
everyone else in this movie is
Hasn't
just
heard a word anyone said.
oblivious. Nobody pays attention. Dialogue may as well not even exist. But for her, she's the only person who's listening and is showing interest in Patrick Bateman.
Yeah.
I think because as we'll talk about later, if some of these scenes are actually happened or are real or anything like that. I think that this is absolutely real and could be him maybe pre-killing anybody yet, you know.
Ooh,
and I
like
think
he wanted to. He hasn't actually done it, and he wanted to.
Like he's also like a lot of serial killers like build up slowly, you know, and they kind of ramp up. And also they love to cooperate with cops, so it's kind of telling with him and Kimball.
Are you saying that maybe this is like like these things are out of sequence?
Maybe.
Is that what you're saying?
Maybe because
or everything else he dreamed up at this point.
Yeah. So I think that this did actually definitely happen, and I think somehow, some way, it doesn't really make sense to me because he is a psychopath that he has remorse for her or has sympathy for Jean.
Yeah.
But also in a practical sense, she is his secretary, so someone's definitely gonna notice, you know.
Well.
And then, like, who's gonna help get dinner reservations and shit like that?
Yeah, exactly. It's only gonna make his
Tell
life
him
harder.
no.
You're already dealing with all these kills that you've already done, and the guilt and so on and so forth that just come along with it. But you're gonna take out the one part that makes your day kind of easy. Nah, come on, man. You're not going to.
You ain't going.
You ain't going to do that.
I do like the line, and it does like even he's killed people. We've seen him do that, and we killed a fucking dog, and that's irreprehensible. But
yes,
he does say to her, "Is that I guess I'm just looking for a meaningful relationship with someone I really care about." You know, it's like everyone is. And that's the most relatable thing that you've ever said.
But it's the weirdest, most foreign thing he's ever said.
Because he's pointing a nail gun to the back of her head while he says it.
It's like
I heard someone say that on a movie once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, everybody wants that, but we don't go to killing people if we don't think that they're the person.
Yes.
Super weird.
Turns out they can go on with their lives, and so can we.
Weird. Well, so scene 4, after a third meeting with Kimball, Bateman brings Christy and a friend to Alan's apartment where he kills Elizabeth, his friend. Christy runs, discovering multiple female corpses as she searches for an exit. Bateman chases her and drops a chainsaw on her as she flees down a staircase. Afterwards, Bateman breaks off his engagement with Evelyn. I want to talk about just Christian Bale for a second in this because, as many people have pointed out, a lot of his inner circle warned him that this movie would be career suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. I think ultimately maybe that's why Leo DiCaprio didn't take this role or something like that.
Okay.
Is because this book is crazy subject matter, and not many people nowadays. This would be like everybody would jump at this role. You know, like this is just serial killers, cool, awesome. This is great. We don't care. This is the hot thing. But
right.
The fact that people were telling with him that it made him more eager to even take the part, which says something about Bale. So I went back and I looked before Bale did this role. He was 17 roles over 14 years in movies, and I have not seen I've not heard or seen of any of them other than Empire of the Sun, which I've not seen. That's the only movie I recognize that he was in. Over 14 years, 17 roles. Following this, the following 14 years, Dark Knight Trilogy, The Prestige, 3:10 to Yuma, The Fighter, American Hustle, Terminator Salvation, and more. Wide critical acclaim, several movie nominations, and Oscar win. What a move. What a power trip. To be like, nope, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Dude either is just brilliant or just has amazing foresight, or both. So if Leo DiCaprio was who they pinned for this, right? Think about what he did before this. Titanic. This is right off of Titanic.
Because that was 97 or 98, 97.
Yep, something like that.
And so
maybe 99, but wait.
Yeah, and so you're like, okay, that came out, and you have Leo DiCaprio on that, and I know he had done some other things too. He's massive though.
He's heartthrob massive.
Leo is just beyond. Like after Titanic, I mean, come on. And you think about Bale, and if he hasn't had that breakout, but
he's a nobody.
Yeah, so it's just like the risk to reward is great for Bale, whereas DiCaprio, and he's the only comparison I'm making, but he's already big, where it could cause him to go from here to just tank something because he'll stain his reputation.
He was a like a teen poster boy.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, he has like his fan base is these ladies because of Titanic. If he does this role, it could tank his career. But
correct.
But what people were saying to Bale is like, if you take this role, it could make your career just not
non-existent.
You know,
He's like, what do I have to lose?
Exactly.
At this point.
Exactly.
And that's the testament, in my opinion. I think this is his best role to date.
Oh, wow,
Still.
really?
Yeah.
Do you find it weird that his last name is Bateman in this, and then he went on to be Batman, and that I feel that Bruce Wayne and Patrick Bateman are very similar characters, just like Bruce Wayne was able to just go a little bit into the other direction.
He found
his power
thing.
for good. He found his thing.
Yes.
Bateman hasn't found his thing yet.
He hasn't found his thing. Like
we're talking about like an alternate like universe, like this multiverse for DC instead.
Okay, where it's not Bruce Wayne, it's Patrick Bateman.
It's Patrick Bateman, and it's just
I am Bateman. Bateman.
I am the Bateman.
I'm the Bateman.
I'm the Bateman.
Master Bateman.
Alfred calls him what?
Bateman. Alfred calls
Master Bateman.
Master Bateman.
Master Bateman.
What do you call you? It's my name. I know.
It's an alternate universe. Masturbate does not mean what you think it does.
Master Bateman.
Masturbate. Yes.
We're killing it.
You know what?
Literally.
I want that. I also just want Batman to show up when he's like in an alley about to kill a bum.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Or like with the hooker or something like that, and Batman shows up and Bateman's just like, I was she stole the videotapes I was trying to return. It's just like,
I got reservations at Dorja. It's 2 in the morning. Yeah. No, it's open now.
Those late fees right now, dude. They're crazy. You know this, right?
I guess so. I'm Bateman. I'm Bateman.
I'm the Batman. I'm Bateman. I'm Patrick Bateman.
I'm Bateman. I'm sorry.
I'm Bateman.
Where's Paul Allen? Where are the videotapes going?
Where are the other videotapes?
Where are the videotapes? Where are the videotapes going? Which family video?
I say this every episode, and this is why you guys are here, is because a lot of podcasts have dissected American Psycho, and none of them have done what we just did here. So thank you for being here. You're welcome.
Where are the videotapes?
Where's Paul Allen?
Where's Paul Allen?
So we get the chainsaw scene.
Where's Dorja?
Where's my reservation?
Yeah, Shaun, let's move on to Shaun's Halloween Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes. So this is Guinevere, right?
I don't know.
Guinevere Turner, his friend.
The friend that shows up that's on the couch that gets
the
killed.
co-writer.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yeah, this scene is like also calls into question, like, did any of this happen? He's literally running around naked with a chainsaw through his apartment complex with shoes on, and kills a woman with a chainsaw, unbelievably, because they don't have they have a kill switch. Like, as soon as you take your thing off.
True,
you know,
very true. So this is not happening.
I don't think so. But calls into question, is it happening? But also on set, he was like pumping himself up like Jack Nicholson would before, like, chopping down the door in The Shining. Like, he would pump himself. He's like had the chainsaw and like literally just had a sock on his dick and balls
and shoes
and was just like kind of dancing around like that. And
don't forget the Nikes, bro.
I just love that image. So much.
Do you?
A lot.
Let's be honest. Who doesn't? I mean, if even the small bits we got of him just working out, you're just like, yeah.
I get it, man.
I wish.
Like my girlfriend was watching it with me, and she's like, "Wow." I'm like, "I know.
I know, babe.
I know."
Yeah.
It's hard to deny.
What? We watched so many Halloween movies recently that this whole moment just feels like a horror movie. It feels like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which you'd been watching.
Yeah.
And I will go on record as saying this, that if I lived in an apartment complex and someone was banging on my door that way, I'm not answering the door. But I would even if I heard someone with a chainsaw, I would not open that door. But if there was like a hunter about ready to shoot like a squirrel, I'd dive in front of that and try to stop the bullet.
In front of the squirrel?
In front of the squirrel. But I don't care about human beings and shit like that, especially when they're screaming that way.
Yeah, I get that. You think about that. You do have to think about it from the perspective of the person inside that apartment, if there is anybody inside that apartment, because they're probably summering somewhere.
Right. Yes, you're right.
You're thinking about being inside that apartment, and if this was your apartment, guys, if somebody ran down this hallway and
Just
started
screaming that
just
way?
slamming on our door to our studio and was like, "Let me in," but faintly you heard
Getting louder.
We'd probably be like, just they'll go away.
I would go
They'll
out there
away.
and be
Shh.
like, "Hey,
Shh,
man,
shut up, shut off the light. We're not in here. We're not in here."
I know these movies. I know the movies you've been watching. Psycho, Chainsaw Man. While you're chasing this girl, I can reason with them. I can sit down and be like, you need to find a thing. You need to chainsaw some wood. You need to do some art with that.
See
you know,
this?
you channel that into good. You know,
See this leather face you've got on? You got to drop the mask, bro.
take
just
off the
got-
mask.
You got. Here's my routine.
Yeah. Let me show you my routine.
You need Cisco.
Here's you need a water activated scrub.
A honeyberry hint texture to it.
Charcoal mask.
Well, boys, let's go to the final scene here.
Let's
So
do
a
it.
police chase ensues, but Bateman kills the officers and blows up a police car. Bateman kills 2 more people before hiding in his office. He calls his lawyer, Harold Carnes, and frantically leaves a confession. The following morning, Bateman visits Alan's apartment to clean up the remains, but finds it vacant and for sale. While Bateman goes to meet with his colleagues for lunch, he sees Carnes and mentions the phone message. Carnes mistakes Bateman for another colleague and laughs off the confession as a joke. A confused Bateman returns to his friends, unsure if his crimes were real or imaginary.
We didn't talk about Reese Witherspoon in this. I know it's kind of a ancillary character, but she's a Oscar winner.
Yeah.
And actually would present Christian Bale with his Oscar when he won it for The Fighter.
Oh, cool.
Ironically.
Oh.
But I like this scene that she's in. We didn't talk about the Christmas scene either, but
It's a Christmas movie.
whatever. There's a whole debate on that, isn't there?
People are weird.
Yeah, it's
If
going
Die
on.
Hard's a Christmas movie, so's this.
Sure.
There's a whole debatement on
Sure.
that.
Anyway,
whole-
Reese Witherspoon.
Without her spoon.
Should I be here?
I don't
You guys need me for this conversation?
No. I think I'm going to leave with you, dude. We're just going to let AJ talk.
This has been a fun time, guys. Welcome to Confused Progress right now.
Ever since you started golfing and putting face masks on, man,
I know.
I don't know.
You need to lay off the anti-aging serum.
You really do, bro.
Anyway, I like her. It just adds to like what we're supposed to be doing. Like we have the same friends. It's not going to work out if we split up.
Yeah.
You know, it's such bullshit. But also you can kind of see that. And I guess if you were in a divorce, like, yeah, we do have the same friends. What's going to happen here? Who's going to
What
split
about
up
the
our
Super
friends?
Bowl party?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to go.
Well, I wanted to go to the Super Bowl party. I really wanted to because I know Shaun's gonna be making wings.
It's my favorite team, too.
and
We're
if
doing good this year.
I swear to God, if I don't get some of Nick's poppers, the chips and queso dip is just oh my God.
Like his coldness too, I love, and it does call into account where like this. I think this is a comedy. I think this is everything.
Yeah.
This is horror, thriller, satire, comedy. I think this is everything. Where he's like, I just don't like you anymore. Pretty much to her, you know.
Yeah, like that whole thing is the complete opposite of where I think the opposites of where most people will fall in the middle, where they're trying to reason almost with themselves.
Sure.
Whereas, like you say, Reese Witherspoon is like, like it's not even an option in her head to break up
Right.
at one point.
And they know that
It's-
each other are cheating on each other.
We're not going to break up. Come on, we're not going to do that because we have the same friends and we have, we're in the same circles and we're doing the same things and we're doing this and we're doing that and it's just like we've been together for this long, blah blah blah. And then, but then you have Patrick Bateman, who is this is not going to continue. No, absolutely not. And most people fall right in the middle of that. And you're right, it is. It's like very cold and everything. But they're just. It's like. You can see the whole time, and then is this a moment where you're actually going to like root for Patrick Bateman?
It's like it's odd because this is where like the facade of this entire life and lifestyle is breaking down.
Okay,
And it's interesting that he's breaking into that because like all I want to do is just fit in. That's what he says. And now he's not fitting in. It's kind of a breaking point at this point, and so we get our ending here.
This has got to be one of the first modern day serial killer like fascinations because they had even said that like in test audiences, people said they felt sorry for Bateman during this confession scene, acknowledging that the character was deteriorating, the scene was showing unfortunate results, he needed to get help. It's like there's an utter fascination with these people that do these things, serial killers, and it's like you can almost see it, and you're kind of fascinated with this dude, even though he's the biggest piece of shit we've talked about so far in any movie.
I mean, we just got the Dahmer thing. That's the same. It's the same fucking thing, man. Like, you know, weirdly, fucking housewives are swoon over this psychopath.
But that's been happening forever. People write like love letters to
since the 70s.
People. Yeah,
since serial killers were a thing, and I think actually during this time, some Richard Bruder or something like that had just been caught in Toronto, and so like during the film, like during when they were filming these
he
scenes,
was sort of the face for it.
Yeah, and people were protesting like the whole time. But anyway, it's kind of like that. It's the whole Dahmer effect, and it is fascinating. It is fascinating, but because you have empathy.
Yeah.
Like these people don't.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and like having to compare that to go like to see the darkness is interesting to us.
Yeah.
And I think this movie taps into that tenfold.
Especially after we just saw. Sorry, go ahead. Like,
well, and it just adds to like society. It's commenting on society too. We're like, that's psychotic too.
Yeah.
And to make fun of that is we need that. We need that catharsis.
Especially after we just watched this comical shootout. Like, is he in the same building? Like, you know, he goes in the building.
Look like it, right?
But it is. It's the same building.
Right.
But things are different. And he does the revolving door. It's hilarious. He like revolves around and shoots the guy, and he blows up a cop car. And then it's like, it's funny.
Yeah.
And then it's like, whoa, like, oh shit, this guy's just like, and he doesn't even know. He can remember all these things, like Huey Lewis in the News and everything about this and all this stuff, but then he can't remember like a body count.
Yeah.
And all these weird things. He like, you know, he's blowing up this cop car with a handgun.
Yeah, he shoots. He's like, what the fuck?
Right.
Even he's shocked about it.
Yes. The ATM says, feed me a cat.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I guess I got to feed it a cat. Like, why would it ever say that?
It would never say that.
These are not saying these things. Then he goes into the apartment, to Paul Allen's apartment. And this is where I think this is the most important scene of the movie, to where you can decide to take it. Do you think this is all made up, or do you think this is all real? This is your scene on how you want to take it. There's still no right answer, but he's in this apartment, and the realtor's basically like, get out of here. You're a crazy person.
Yeah.
So if you want to say none of this ever happened, then he never even lived here. You were never even in this apartment.
Right.
This is just for sale. Like, you just broke in here and thought there was stuff in here. You didn't actually kill anyone here. Or he did actually kill all those people. And this is such a yuppie scum time in America that this property is so valuable that the owner was like, you know what, we're just going to clean this up.
Yep.
We're just going to clean this whole place up, and we're going to put it on the market.
Yeah.
That's why she acts so weird to him right there. I mean, what do you think happened? Do you think you think the realtor's just being weird, or they like clean the place up?
In
and
this
like,
specific scene?
We know who you are. Yeah, this scene. We know who you are. Get out of here, because you're the one that killed all the people in this place, but we don't want anyone to know about it.
I think it's the latter. I think it's the, I don't think Paul Allen's dead.
Okay.
I think he's he definitely went away, and Patrick Bateman used that to like kind of fulfill his fantasies. But I do think Patrick Bateman did kill people.
Okay.
It's just certain instances did happen, and certain instances didn't happen. I think it's just his psychosis is what we're seeing. Like homeless guy, I think he killed. Some of the sex workers, I think he killed. I do think that did happen, but it is also calling into question, especially once he's talking to his lawyer, and his lawyer doesn't even notice.
No,
he
doesn't even know who he is.
This is like a different plane of existence this movie is living on, and I think it's commenting on how like facaded.
Yeah, I like it.
Facated.
Fascade.
We are from like being ourselves while in like corporate life.
Yeah.
You know. No one knows each other's names.
No,
ever. No one can remember each other's names. And I think even in this instance, they can't even believe that Patrick Bateman would kill someone. They don't even want to talk about it. You know, they don't want to know about it because they want to just keep getting all the accounts that they can, and they want to go to Dorsia, and then they want to go to the nightclub after, and they just want to do those things, and that's it. They don't want to know that someone's been killing people. You know, and they keep this facade up, and they just don't want to believe Patrick Bateman.
I love it.
It's exactly how I feel about it. Nobody wants to let go of what at least they have, even though nobody actually gives a damn. They don't want to let go because of the comfort of what they've got. even the lawyer, even those. And so I will say my opinion. I'll try to make it nice and short. I don't think he's actually killed anybody.
No? Okay.
I've had to fight back and forth with this for a long time. They aren't going to, there's the conspiracy that would run this deep of him killing people, because I feel like if you have one killed, then you have to have all the others. And if you say that he didn't kill anybody or this one person, then he didn't kill anybody. And so I think it's very much of what you're talking about. I believe that he's going in there. He's probably shown up at all these places and been there, and he's made scenes before, but he's never actually killed anybody, which is why the realtor might know him, which is why Paul Allen either may not even actually exist. The first time you think of when they see, oh, that's Paul Allen, I don't know if you even really see much of his face.
Yeah.
That's Paul Allen. You
may
see him in the boardroom eventually, but
maybe
Paul
they all
Allen.
got his name wrong,
Well, exactly.
too.
Then
He never
maybe they
says, my
all-
name's Paul Allen.
Maybe they got his name wrong.
Exactly.
We only see business cards. Most of these people are only introduced by business cards. And that's it. And it's just another layer of like, I have this business card in my pocket. Why the fuck do I care?
What if they're just like what if they're under workers of their bosses who are their names?
Exactly.
What if he's not even Patrick Bateman?
You never know.
And his boss is Patrick Bateman, which is why he went out and got the business cards.
Yes.
And now he has a business card. It's like, my name's Patrick Bateman.
He is like one point Reese Witherspoon says, your dad owns the company.
Yeah.
Things like that. I think there's too much going on. There's too many loose ends to be like he has in fact killed somebody, and that these bodies that were hanging there have been taken from this apartment. Paul Allen's apartment that he was going into that apartment for sure.
Yeah.
But he was not supposed to be there. We know who you are. You're the one who keeps coming in here. That's kind of thing. With the realtor.
Yep.
And the last thing I think is still the address of the conversation with the lawyer. And the lawyer is very disturbed. I never got the point of I'm trying to communicate with you with my eyes. This is not funny anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to have this conversation anymore.
I didn't hear that.
That's not what I got. I got like, this is really weird now, because now we're treading weird water here as a lawyer.
And I don't have time for this.
So I'm going to go do another social thing somewhere else in this room. And he goes back to his room. So that's the other thing.
Well,
I definitely can see that way, and I don't think any vision on this is wrong either. I like, especially when he's talking to his lawyer, I feel like I said, the lawyer just wants to like keep all this undercover. Like he just wants to have his interactions. He wants to be his human self, his facade that he's created.
He doesn't want to disrupt his squash game he's got coming up in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I do have one final thought, and it is this. I'll just leave it at this. If it's not what I said previously, that nobody got killed and it was all in his head for like just about everything except for that he did go places. If Patrick Bateman is a killer, then he is not the only killer. And that is what I'll leave it at.
I like it.
He's not the only killer in that room. So
they're all like, of course you did. Anyway, gotta go.
Yep.
Cool.
They're
I like
all
it.
killers.
I see. All right.
Well, is that about it, boys?
Do it.
I think so.
I think we've done it. I think we've stripped away the nostalgia. We've talked about this with a modern, critical eye. We got to give it some ratings. Shaun, I'm going to start with you, man. What do you think your modern-day rating is of this?
I'll just read this. This movie is just about people in the mundanity of life and the way it's set up for us to just work and go home and work and go home and then work some more. With all of that, your true self can never come out, especially because the way society you should act. You comply and act that way so we can all not have any speed bumps in life and just get away with any interaction to go back to work and then go home. You have to find a thing. You have to find a thing that fulfills you, whether that be family, sports, working out, doing a dumb podcast, filmmaking, or you're really into Renaissance or anything as simple as model building. You have to find a thing, and with that thing, you will find a community of like-minded individuals who are bursting to get out of their mundane shell that society has more or less forced them into. You also have to be careful with this mindset, though. You can't let that mundanity turn into hate. You can't let frustration of not fitting in or being able to be yourself turn into malice. you will find community, you will find friends, and you will find place and time where you can be yourself and let that break through in the mundanity of everyday life. I think it's like a lot of this, like especially we brought up during reviews, was that's literally me, you know. And also somebody brought up incels, and I think that's pretty apt. I think you can definitely, I could not help but think about like some of these, especially men, doing these kind of acts, you know, and thinking this way. I think there's a fucking way out of that, though. I think you just got to find a thing, like I said. You got to find a thing. You got to find a community, and they are out there no matter what you're into. If it's fucking anime, there's a huge fucking subset of anime. Just go find that thing and devote yourself to it, and relate to people, talk to people. I think this movie's expertly made. I think the editing is extremely underrated, and I really love that about it. I think it's a cool adaptation, especially from the woman's perspective of looking into this kind of masculinity, toxic masculinity, really, because like a lot of his friends even talk real shitty about fucking women.
Yeah.
Like real harsh. And I guess that's amped up in the novel. But I think it's Christian Bale's best performance of all time. And however, I thought highly of it when I first saw it. I do think it's a little, maybe a little bit too long, and just a kind of an okay movie for me. I'm gonna go 7.56.
He did it.
AJ, what you got, man?
I think that the movie, this is why I love doing the podcast with you guys, is because we get to break these down. I watched the movie by myself, do it a couple different times, and get to hear more perspective on it. And on a movie like this that I've not seen a ton in my past, I enjoyed watching it, and I think about I'm doing the mic comparison. I'm doing the free flowing of like, well, things I've rated in the past. I think there's a really great social commentary around this movie. I think, but they killed a dog, and so that being said, though, I really like the social commentary of this the whole theme of the movie, and just how people get inside their own heads, and I think Christian Bale does a phenomenal job. And it's no wonder why this catapulted his career into what he became for us, you know. So that being said, for some reason, I had to look back a little bit and see what I have rated this up to this point over at the website. So I said, you know what, this is going to be a 7.1.
7.1. Interestingly enough, I'm higher than you guys. I'm an 8.25 for this movie, and I think you guys nailed it. It's a fantastic ride of all different emotions and different genres, and great performances, great soundtrack. I love when there's not a definitive answer to a movie. I love that.
Yes.
Because I
hate it.
I love it because I want to be able to go back. It's why Fight Club gripped me so hard.
The Shining
and everything, where it's like, did you? Oh my God, am I the only one that ever noticed that connection's there? And whether it was intentional or not, I love that. So I'm gonna put it pretty high on my list at an 8.25. Our boy Josh Miller, executive producer, said, after rewatching this for the first time in years, maybe it's because I'm older, maybe I'm more mature, unlikely, this movie has only improved for me. I like it more now than I remember liking it back then. I love the look of the movie. I love the tone of the movie, the way things are shot. I feel this feels more indicative of Wall Street scene in the 80s than the movie Wall Street itself or The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
I feel like Bale, who consistently gives very underrated performances, this might actually be his best. He was able to thread this needle of approachable yet standoffish yet terrifying. This is one of his best, and I can't think of a bad one from him overall. Typically, I'm not a fan of over-narration, but I like Bale's narration of the whole thing. Even to this day, I still can't fully believe if it's not all in his head or most of it. While this is a popular discussion, no one definitely has the answer. I'm not even sure the author of the source material even knows.
Sure.
Even if he did do it all, you are left with tons of questions of why he was never caught in the act, and the fact that he claimed like 20 to 40 people. I could go on and on, but I have explicit trust in you guys to hit the marks. Hope we did it for you. The whole Master Bateman thing. We'll see if we got there. We'll see if you like that. But I'll leave you with a punchable face. Lewis Carruthers, punchable face for him. He was in our whole group of people.
Okay.
Prop, everyone will say that the chainsaw, but I want the skincare routine equipment. My modern day score is a very respectable 8.5.
Nice.
So that takes
Very
us to
good.
a 7.85 overall. If you're going to get a modern day rating, that's number 28 on our list.
That feels
Okay.
good.
That is right above Monster Squad and right below Princess Bride.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That feels good to me.
I
That's
feel
fine.
good about that. I
Yeah.
feel very, very good about that.
I gotta say, you guys, we've been getting a lot of messages through Instagram and Facebook and everything like that. I just want to thank you so much
Yeah.
for like sending messages, like giving a movie recommendation that we should do, or even just kind of telling us about your life and what the show means to you. It has really, really made my life joyful. As much as it is already, it's made it so much more. And to know that this show affects you in a way that that you feel as if you need to tell us how much you like it and how much it means to you. It means the world to me. It means the world to us. And keep sending those messages, and it just means so much. Thank you so much for letting us in your lives a little bit and relating through movies like this show needs to do. And so I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate you being here. A bunch of great movies coming up next Wednesday. A movie chosen directly by our Patreon members for Thanksgiving, Grumpy Old Men.
All right.
Going to be it's one of many Thanksgiving movies we're going to start getting to, followed by a top secret bonus episode, and then Blues
get it.
Brothers. Very important movie
So
in my
excited.
history of my life. We will be doing that. And if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year, GoldenEye. Very similar movie to American Psycho, if you think
Oh
about
yeah. Technically,
it. Technically.
I don't know why he's killing people.
Weird.
Who said it was okay?
that is a very fun one. It was one of my lowest rated movies I had.
Yeah. Same.
And don't forget that we have a voicemail call, 319-804-9596.
96.
Here's today's voicemail.
Hey guys, my name is Greg Nash. I'm from Texas. I'm a relatively new listener to y'all's podcast. I think it's amazing. Y'all do a great job on all this stuff. Pretty damn funny too. Next thing I got to try out after trying out y'all's podcast is the bourbon. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm listening to the brand new Hook one that y'all just put out this week. And I thought I needed to call y'all. And y'all need to start diving into the conspiracy theories behind Peter Pan. Peter Pan wasn't the good guy. Captain Hook is actually the good guy.
Oh.
Humanize the Goons.
Dive on into it and see what you find out. Thanks, guys. Love the show.
Humanize the Goons. I love it.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I felt that we could have gone even further into that realm of Hook.
Sure.
Of like fuck Peter. I think we did a pretty good job of like, dude, fuck Peter Pan, man.
Yeah.
He's kind of ruining it.
Tinkerbell's manipulative. Yeah.
Super weird.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
AJ, let's take us out of this whole thing.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. Make sure while you are listening that you've got only like 2 minutes left. You have to go and hit 5 stars on whatever you're listening on and try to write a review inside that 2 minutes. Now it's like 1 minute and 45 seconds. Go ahead and do that. And by all means, search for us on social media if for some reason you haven't already, at Confused Breakfast, just about anywhere on social media.
Thank you, guys. You can also go to confusedbreakfast.com and search our merch store. You can get some mugs. You can get some shirts. You can get some shirts with our sayings on it, just our shirts with or just our logo on it. Put us on your body. That is amazing. I just want to say a shout out to Aaron Baker, who made this
That's so
3D printed the Thunder Road for us for
So sick.
our set here, and even gave AJ here a copy of the Blu-ray. Super cool of you, man.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
That is a way you can support us, sending us fun stuff, sharing us around. You can also go to patreon.com/confusedbreakfast to support this pretty much directly. You get bonus audio content. You get to vote on upcoming movies. It is the way to go. Check everything out you need at confusedbreakfast.com. This show is produced by LAS Media Group, our friends here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Logan, thanks for manning the controls today. Check out more about them, lasmediagroup.com. That's it. We're out of here. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Don't kill anybody.
Yeah, don't do that.